Welcome back to the Stan Simpson Show, here with our entertainment attorney, James Walker, the author of This Business of Urban Music, Toni Braxton. Walk, talk to me about Toni Braxton. It's one thing to be broke. Everyone makes a mistake. You spend some money. You got a lot of money. You spend it. She's been broke twice now in 10 years, filed bankruptcy, up to $50 million. This is one of the all-time great singers. What's up with this?
Well, we were all shocked by it, Stan. I mean, she's got 40 million records sold, Grammys, American Music Awards, you name it. Family, I guess she just broke up with her husband, but she has kids,
right.
She's a son. And it's just shocking to see. I mean, years ago, she was the poster child for what not to do as an artist.
How so?
Well, she signed with LaFace Records, and after selling 7 or 10 million copies, she was only making pennies per record. And the problem with that is, even if you sell 1 million records and you're only making 10 or 20 cents a record, technically they only owe you about 20 grand, you know, if you're not making real money.
Right.
Or if you're making, 40 cents as some of our artists and you sell 1 million records, you think they would owe you about 400 grand. However, what happens is they deduct all the costs from her to make the record.
The hotel, the limousines.
The Grammy trip, the dress, the outfits, everything.
The room service charge, the champagne, the Dom Perignon.
Everything. So L.A. Reid once said, the former head of LaFace once said that it costs about $2 million to break a new artist. So if it costs them $2 million, marketing,
videos, to bring them out. Okay, to bring them out. Okay, all right.
And if it costs $2 million to break an artist and you're only making 40 cents a record or 50 cents a record, you've got to sell 4 million records to just cover the break even. And many artists, if they're lucky, might sell half platinum, which is $1 million, or double platinum, which is $2 million, and they're still in the hole. So in Toni's case, she's had a lot of records come out, and she's sold 40 million records, but she's always unrecouped, which means still in debt.
A lot of checks, though, coming. 40 million is still a lot of cents and dollars coming in, right?
40 million is a lot of records, but over the course of a 12, 15-year career, is it really a lot? And
when your expenses are high, that adds up. I was reading somewhere that a lot of these stars, gospel stars, the music stars, they're not as well off as people may think, that they really live or die on these concerts, and that they're not as well positioned financially as folks may think when they see them. Is that true from your experience?
It's very true. I had a buddy of mine who practices entertainment law in Detroit tell me recently many of these artists still do not read their contracts. They still do not understand what a point is. And when we say a point, we mean 1% on an album sale. Many of them don't understand what a point is. They don't read their contracts because many think their manager will handle it. They think their lawyer will handle it. If they're married, they think their spouse will handle it. They think their agent, their road manager. Rarely do they understand, look, your name is on that 30-page document. You need to read it. You need to understand what's in that document. And you need to understand why you can end up broke or bankrupt.
You tell these young kids at school, they want to be athletes and entertainers, so they think education is secondary. Tell them you can be an athlete and entertainer, but guess what? If you can't read or write, you have these contracts that are bad, you're not going to know about it, right?
Well, they think everybody's going to be Jay-Z or Beyonce. And you try to explain to them that Jay-Z and Beyonce, they are rare exceptions to the normal financial situation facing many of these artists.
So what happens now? Because if she broke or just simply repositioning? She's supposed to be worth $1 to $10 million.
$1 to $10 million.
But owes up to $50 million.
Up to $50 million,
how do you repackage that? I mean, another album,
I'm not a bankruptcy attorney, but it's my understanding you march into court, you put all your creditors kind of on the table, and you basically try to divvy up what you're going to pay everybody.
But can she get solvent through a new CD? I mean, she has to go out there and make some money now, right?
She has to go out and make some money.
We'll probably see her hustling and getting some more albums out there, maybe do some acting.
She has to make some money, but if we look at the first filing, 1998, when she filed for bankruptcy, she's got to rethink how she does things. She's got to cut down the entourage, cut down the expenses, and live a basic life. I always tell these artists, don't change how you're living because you got to hit record, because as I said, you're only making 40 or 50 cents per record. That's not a lot of money.
Well, think about the entertainment world. Segue to sports, where they say 2/3 of the NFL players 5 years after retirement are broke and separated from their wives. So what does that tell you? Again, you have guys where the money's coming in, and they think it's going to last that way forever, and they're not managing their money. You're Mike Tyson, right?
Mike Tyson is a classic example. Holyfield, we can go down the list. And I think what tends to happen is, who is in your corner? I always say to folks, in the book I talk about building your team. Who's your team that's going to tell you, no, Stan, you don't need that car. You have a nice, Lexus, you have a nice Camry. You don't need a Bentley or some expensive sports car.
Let's go to Mary J. Blige. Went to the MGA Grand last Sunday. Wonderful concert.
You went, Stan?
I went, saw Mary J. in action. She was,
no tie on?
No tie.
Wow, man.
No tie walk. Anyways, saw the concert. Wonderful performance. She has a connection with women, as Oprah asked. Talk about the staying power of Mary J.
It's funny you were talking about Toni Braxton. When you talk about Mary J. Blige, it's the total opposite. Well-run machine, tight handlers from her sister to her husband, very good legal team. They really micromanage what Mary J. does.
Yeah.
You don't see her living above her means. You don't see her living very extravagant. She lives well. She has a nice home in L.A. and everything, but she lives very, very, very conservative.
Secret to her success besides that, because
I think she connects. I think Mary J. is our modern-day Aretha Franklin or our modern-day Patti LaBelle, kind of a cross between. She's what you would say a sister girl to all of the sisters out there who can relate to her. She worked her way up. She didn't come from a high-end neighborhood. She's a girl from around the neighborhood who made it big through the help of Puffy and other labels, MCA, that brought her through the ranks.
I had one friend who said that Mary J. is popular with her daughter, her mother, her generational with women.
Definitely.
This is rare, right?
Yeah, that's very rare. Mary J. has been able to do something that most R&B artists cannot do, which is stay relevant. No matter what.
I'm sorry, Walk ahead.
No matter what generation you look at, she's relevant.
We had you on last. We talked about Bishop Moles here in Bridgeport, who died, a gospel legend. Now another gospel legend has died, Albertina Walker. No relation. Quickly about her.
No relation. A client of mine out of Chicago, the queen of gospel.
Why? 81 years old, right?
81 years old. She discovered James Cleveland. She introduced America to James Cleveland, who was the iconic godfather of gospel music, who died in 91. She's been nominated for Grammys, Stellar Awards. I mean, just done it all. She started, her and Shirley Caesar used to have a group called the Caravans, and everyone knows her from the hit song I'm Still Here, and she's been featured in countless PBS documentaries.
But her relevance was that she made gospel music popular in the churches back in the 30s when gospel music was considered sort of non-church-like, right?
Correct. Next in 30s, 40s, 50s on up. Yes, she made it very popular, and she and Shirley Caesar and the Caravans were kind of traveling around, state to state.
15 seconds. Social media. The movie is out right now, making a ton of money. Real quick, your thoughts on that?
I think it's a brilliant movie. It shows the legal battle over whether or not Mark Zuckerberg invented Facebook, or whether or not he allegedly stole the ideals from these twin brothers and a friend of theirs. So it's a phenomenal movie that's clearly going to do $100 million at the box office, and you can put on your Facebook to your 500 million followers that it's a great movie. My son and I saw it this weekend in Dallas, and it's a great movie.
All right. Want to thank our guests. Joe Wench, Scott Gray, and James Walker. You can send your show comments or watch us again, folks, at ctnow.com, and friend us on Facebook. Become a fan of the Stan Simpson Show. We're on Twitter, too. Look out for those tweets. Lori Perez and The Real Story are next. For the good folks here at Fox, Connecticut, I'm Stan Simpson. We'll see you next week.